Welcome to the love and the light that is Unity Church of Overland Park. Whether you are joining us for the first time or you have been with us for a lifetime, please know that today, this is your spiritual community, and we trust that you will be nurtured and blessed beyond measure. You may notice some differences in today's services. This live stream format has created difficulties for us as presenters as we try to maintain a quality experience for you. We have also noticed that many of you who watch these services are only willing to engage for about 40 or 45 minutes on this live stream format. And so for this week and next week, while we're still in this particular format, we're going to shorten our service a little bit and eliminate some of the congregational music elements that have proved so difficult in this live stream setting. So rest assured that we have retained our solo music, and the other music will return on July the 28th service that we will stream from Adola. So just take a moment, like us, and share with us, with your friends, that you are at Unity Church of Overland Park Sunday service. Do this on Facebook or YouTube. As we begin our service, and we begin this service by intentionally lighting this candle. This candle Unity calls the Christ candle. We light it, remembering the words of our brother and our way shower Jesus, who says, "You are the light of the world." So just breathe that in for a moment. You are the light of the world. And as we behold that light in ourselves and in each other, let us affirm one of Unity's foundational statements of truth. Let us affirm this and say this together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now I welcome Reverend Carrie, who is joining us.
Good morning. I'd like to invite you now to just take a moment to center even more deeply into that which you are in your heart, releasing all that has happened in the past, letting go of all the imaginings of the future, and being in the point of creation right now, fully present with that Christ within. I invite you to take a nice deep breath and feel your body. Your feet on the ground, as we open our hearts to this time together. Despite all appearances, we are connected in spirit, heart to heart, breath to breath. So we are so grateful to be able to come together this day, opening to what is, an acceptance of the opportunities that are here for us to grow, to expand, to allow the message of what is ours to do to come forward in this time of contemplation and inspiration. We are so grateful for each one of you here today, that you are here, that you are present, that we continue as UPOC no matter what the circumstances. And so we say thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, everybody. Gosh, it sure is great to have Reverend Carrie back as part of our service on Sunday mornings, and we look forward to seeing her more and more each Sunday. So now is the time in our service when we bless our offering. We give in partnership to the fulfillment of UCOP's mission of transforming lives and empowering people to make a difference in the world. So if you are writing a check, you'll see the information below at the bottom of the screen. Please send your check to UCOP at 535 North Merlin Road, and that's in Suite A, Olathe, Kansas 66062. Or you can go online at www.ucop.org, click on the donate button, or also in our e-news, you can click on the Tithely image there in the middle of the screen as well. And all of those will take you to a secure site for you to make your contribution. So I just invite you to take your contribution, whether it is monetary, whether it is prayers for others in your life, prayers for yourself, prayers for the planet. Take that in your hand, that energy, and we are going to bless it. So say with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am joy-filled and grateful. And so we just see these blessings radiating out from us to others around us, to our community, to our nation, to this planet, knowing that we are that ripple that starts the effect, that spreads out to touch the lives of so many others. And so at this time, I would like to introduce Pancho. He will be joining us via video, singing Heart Wide Open by John Smith.
The soles on these shoes are wearing thin from all of the miles that I have spent searching. The trail might be cold, but it's not quite frozen. Yes, I'll find my way if I just walk each day with my heart wide open. I've been worn down like an old river stone, caught up in the current, tumbled and thrown. My spirit is weak, but it's not quite broken. Let that river run, and I'll take what comes with my heart wide open. I wanna take every breath like it's the last one that I'm gonna get. I wanna release every regret, let go of the pain and forgive. Yes, I wanna know what it's like to live with my heart wide open. I've held on too tight, I've let go too soon. I have built walls clear up to the moon, but now here I stand, unguarded and hoping that love calls again, 'cause I'll jump right in with my heart wide open. I wanna take every breath like that I'm gonna get. I want to release every regret, let go of the pain and forgive. Yes, I wanna know what it's like to live with my heart wide open. Yes, I wanna know what it's like to live with my heart wide open.
Thank you, Pancho. Heart wide open. Yeah. There is a fundamental truth that defines who we are. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, not human beings trying to be spiritual. Our spiritual nature comes first and is the underlying reality of everything that we see in material existence. Let me say that again. Our spiritual nature comes first, and that is the underlying reality of everything that we see in material existence. Everything that we see in the outer world that we call our human life is a reflection of what we believe deep in our consciousness. We are the co-creators of all that we see, including the loving and the fearful. When I am confronted by fear, I ask Spirit to guide me so that I can see the situation differently. Then, guided by divine love, I am able to manifest from my spiritual nature. That last thought can become a powerful affirmation. Guided by divine love, I manifest from my spiritual nature. Hear it again. Guided by divine love, I manifest from my spiritual nature. Affirm that with me, if you will. Together, guided by divine love, I manifest from my spiritual nature. Remembering that we are spiritual beings having a human experience grounds us in a very practical way in what Unity calls spiritual truth. I believe two insights that the Fillmores taught over and over and over again are germane to this discussion. First, that prayer connects us to an inner experience of the presence and the power of Divine Spirit. And then second, we create our lives through the power of our thought. Today, 130 years after their original insights, the idea that our thought is powerful does not seem so strange. Both modern medical studies and quantum physics show that the power of thought ranges from spontaneous healings to the power of the observer to affect the outcome of the experiment. Although it is not so strange to believe that how we think and feel can change the world within and around us, we often do not consciously use these tools. Both Myrtle and Charles believed and used this unity principle constantly. Myrtle was not the speaker like Charles was, but she was a gifted letter writer. And from one of her letters, that has been quoted in the book Torch Bearer to Light the Way. Here is what Myrtle believed about the power of our thoughts, and I quote, "By changing our thinking to conform with the divine truths of our spiritual nature, we will be transformed." End quote. I notice that Myrtle does not say that we will transform the world. She says, we will be transformed. Our thoughts are not magic. They will not alter the physical world around us merely by our thinking them. They will, however, change us. And by changing us, will change what we do in the world and thus change the world. My personal spiritual work, A Course in Miracles, says the same thing in these words. This comes from the text, chapter 2, subsection 6. Quote, "You may believe that you are responsible for what you do, but not for what you think. The truth is that you are responsible for what you think, because it is only at this level that you can exercise choice. What you do comes from what you think." Let me say that last sentence again. What you do comes from what you think. And I end that quote. The fact that we are actually spiritual beings and that our experience in the world is a result of what we think is important is necessary for us to understand and then to use in a conscious way. It's really important for me to look at what I think, because what I think, feel, and believe is showing up in the world that I see and that I experience. And I have been watching my world devolve into turmoil. I have witnessed my world stop being personal and stop economic interaction and to isolate from fear of contracting the coronavirus. I have witnessed human cruelty as a white police officer knelt on the neck of a defenseless black man and snuffed out his life. I have witnessed rage and brutality in the streets across this country. I have witnessed a climate of fear envelop us. Spirit, guide me. Help me to see this differently, so that guided by your divine love, I may manifest from my spiritual nature. When I look at the world today, I know that I need to follow Myrtle's counsel and transform my thinking to conform with the divine truth of our spiritual nature. And it begins with understanding what I am thinking. So much of our belief system is embedded in us when we are pre-verbal or too young to think for ourselves. We ingest the cultural beliefs and the expectations in the very act of growing up. These cultural beliefs become part of our unconscious conditioning and do not surface to be looked at unless we are shaken awake. This happened for many of us 2 weeks ago. It happened for me. When I saw the video of George Floyd's death, I had to ask, what part of me is that white policeman? If I can see it as an objective reality in the world, whether I like it or not, it is a subjective reality in me. Seeing that kneeling image is seeing my white privilege in human form. It is something in me that I fear to confront. Privilege is a form of power that one wields, not because of personal skills or talents, but because the system that we live in gives it to us. Look at me. I am white. I am male. I am economically comfortable. The only condition that would provide me with more privilege would be if I had an extreme amount of wealth. I have never been looked at with suspicion when entering a store. I have never been limited in my expectations of possible work, recreation, or education. I have never been denied health care. I have never had my right to vote questioned. And I have never been concerned that the policeman who stopped me for a traffic infraction would be a danger to me. How do I bring privilege and the lack of it, power and the lack of it, rage and brutality wrapped in fear that I see in the world, and connect it to the spiritual truth that lives in my heart? I have to begin with Spirit, guide me. Help me to see this differently, so that guided by your divine love, I may manifest from my spiritual nature. This is our starting point. Understanding that we are spiritual beings and that we have great creative power that will transform us and our world. That understanding has profound implications for us. First, we are inherently whole. Spirit, divine source, the universal field of potentiality, by whatever name you identify it. That divine source, by its own nature, is whole and perfect and cannot be changed or harmed. What we are is always connected to that inner divine love that we call God. We cannot be separated from our wholeness. As spiritual beings, our true nature is whole and perfect, and it cannot be changed or harmed. This is the essence of spiritual invulnerability. Our spirit cannot be damaged in any way. Knowing this does not make my body invulnerable. It does not protect my body from the fear of contracting COVID-19. Spiritual invulnerability does not keep my body from being harmed by another human being, or even allow me to avoid the inevitable death of the physical body that will come to all of us that experience this human life. It does, however, compel me to acknowledge that every other human being has the same whole and perfect divine nature that I believe resides in me. No matter their appearance, their privilege or the lack of it, their power or the lack of it, they are spirit and loved by God. That we are inherently whole also means we are inherently one and the same. The second profound implication is that the physical world that we call real is a temporary and changeable experience. As co-creators with Source, we are forming and changing this world from our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. If I am to be the change that I want to see happen, I must be clear about what I currently believe and think, and then follow Myrtle's guidance and change my thinking. Change my thinking to conform with the divine truth of our spiritual nature in order to be transformed. As I transform myself, I will be a force in transforming the world. The third profound implication that I perceive is that when we experience fear in our lives, it is because we have forgotten to manifest our spiritual reality. This is our call to action. We always have the choice to act from our spiritual truth, guided by divine love. I manifest from my spiritual nature. To be awakened in this moment of time requires us to be aware of the systemic privilege that comes with white skin in this country, and to conversely be aware of the systemic racism that affects every brother and sister of brown or black skin in all their many hues. We are called back into the invulnerability of oneness of spirit, so that we can share equally in the power to create a life open to unlimited potential. We are called to be the change that will overcome fear in the world. A minister, friend, and classmate of mine, Jennifer Holder, along with her husband Ogun, put to music words penned by a friend of theirs, Susan Steintz. They called the song Be the Change. And I want to share some of the words of that song with you. Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the love you want to flow. Be the peace you want to feel around you. Forgive others and let go. Look within to find the endless resource. Bring forth joy and send it out. Look to spirit for your inspiration. Live the life you talk about. Be the change you want to see in this place. Shine the light you want to grow. Be the truth you want to know around you. You're divine, so let it show. Look within to find the God you're seeking. Know the path that is for you. Look to wisdom and imagination, 'cause the change you want is you. Be the change. Be the change. Be the change. Powerful songs and powerful words in a powerful song. We are called to acknowledge our privilege and our power, or the lack of it, and to become the change that we want to see. We overcome all fear, and guided by divine love, we manifest from our spiritual nature. Namaste. Join me, if you will, in an inner time of meditation. I invite you to turn within, to stop for a moment and to just breathe. Just breathe into this now moment, feeling the breath move into your body and out. And as it moves in, let that breath connect to the very heart in you, feeling the heartbeat, and then putting the breath in the heart, breathing in our heart. And as that breath moves through our heart just naturally opens. And as we remember a time where we felt loved or appreciated, and we recall that feeling, and into the heart it comes, that love just fills us up. And as we breathe that love, and it fills us up, and our heart becomes full, we radiate that love outwards. And being that radiating source of light, we turn deeper within. We know that God is the light by which we are guided. So we just hold this idea for a moment, that this light that we are, that radiates from us, that is us, is God. God is the light by which we are guided. God is the light by which we are guided. And as we sink into our minds, following the breath and becoming ever slower and deeper and more intentional, and our inner state becoming quiet, we let go of anything that would interfere, anything that would intrude, and simply quietly sinking past them, relaxing into the heart, God's heart. We are immersed in light. We become formless, without limit. We are the light itself. And we rest as the light, listening together in the silence. guided by divine spirit, we manifest from this our spiritual nature. And so I invite you, if you've brought anyone in heart or mind to put into this moment of prayer and connection, to do so now, whispering their name in your heart or on your lips. Holy Spirit, we lift these names up to you, praying for those and for our world, knowing that you are the nurturing, sustaining, loving power in every heart, in every place of light, in every moment of darkness. And so we see our world transformed even as we in truth are transformed, as we become your light, shining in the world without fear. And it is with gratitude in our hearts that we give thanks, saying, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen and amen. And I invite you to take another breath and let it go with the intention to return to this time and to this place as we allow Pancho to sing, Constant is my soul.
The weather, the waves, the cliffs, the caves, the mountains, changing every day. The seasons, the clouds, the stars come out each night in a slightly different way. Oh, what do I know? Constant is my soul, constant is the sun, constant is the love of the one. I can feel my heart beating like a drum. One mystery ends and another's begun. I'm watching the world spin beyond my control. Constant is my soul. The visions, the hopes, the life I've known could be gone. Everything changes by the day. The aches, the pains, the dreams down the drain again, leaving darkness in their wake. Oh, what do I see? Constant is my soul, constant is the sun, constant is the love of the one. I can feel my heart beating like a drum. One mystery ends and another's begun. I'm watching the world spin beyond my control. Constant is my soul. Why do I feel another new beginning when I already know each ending's coming in its perfect time and way? Constant is my soul, constant is the sun, constant is the love of the one. I can feel my heart beating like a drum. One mystery ends and another's begun. Constant is my soul, Constant is the sun, constant is the love of the one. I can feel my heart beating like a drum when mystery ends and another's begun. I'm watching the world spin beyond my control. I'm watching the world spin beyond my control. Constant is my soul. Constant is my soul.
Thanks, Pancho, and thanks, Fred Albers, our music director, for that perfect selection to follow David's message. By the way, Fred celebrated a birthday yesterday with Alan Carl and Paul Heath. So just a belated happy birthday to Fred. If you haven't had a chance to reach out and wish him happy birthday. I know he's still celebrating today. I'm sure he'll be celebrating all this week too, and probably started last week. Please join us on Facebook following today's service. The information is listed down below for an opportunity to connect face-to-face. This is a great opportunity for you just to check in and let us know what you think about the service and some of the changes that we've made for today's service and next week's service. UCOP kids and Uniteens will be having a Zoom meeting following today's service at 11 p.m. And then join us each weekday at 11:30 as we continue our Interconnections meditation. And we will be continuing this through the month of June and also through July. And again, that's at 11:30. That's a 15 to 20 minute meditation brought to you by a different facilitator each day. And then join us next Sunday, June 21st, when Reverend David presents Author, Where is the Author? He will be joined by Kelly Hunt, and then plan on joining us in person on the 28th of June when we return to the Abdallah Shrine Temple. That's right. It's in 2 weeks from today, the 28th of June. We will be following all of the phase guidelines from the state of Kansas. So if anything should change, we will definitely let you know. But as of for right now, our plan is to be back in person on the 28th. There are guidelines for that, and all that information is listed on the e-news. It was posted this past Friday and will continue to be until then. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us at the church at 649-1750. In need of prayer support, please leave a message at our office, same number, 649-1750. Send an email to ucop@ucop.org or contact Silent Unity at 816-969-2000. And now I would like to turn it back over to Pancho for Blessed Always by Ricky Byers.
Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say Amen. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say Amen. Blessed always, for the arms of God surround us. Let our joy be so triumphant that we rest in God and say amen.
And now, please join me in saying the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I want to thank everyone who's seen and tuned in today, and all those who participated, in particular Pancho for sharing his beautiful music with us. And if you will now please join me in saying Unity Church's mission. Unity Church of Overland Park transforms lives and empowers people to make a difference in the world. God bless.